What's up? I'm Big Bob. What's up, Big Bob? How you doing? Big Bob here with a special guest. But before we introduce our special guest, a shout out to Brenda Ringwood, who, by the way, just got an honorary doctorate. So it's now Dr. Brenda,
Very nice.
right? And I don't think she gives out that kind of doctor advice. She gives out other kind of advice. And she's our executive director and the founder of Becoming the Better You, which is a foundation that I am very involved in, committed to, and I'm going to try to get you committed to. Becoming the better you. Who wouldn't want to become a better version of themselves?
You have to.
You have to,
You
day
have
by
to.
day.
Yeah, most definitely.
Will Shields. Will Shields, Kansas City citizen,
Yes.
resident.
They let me live here every once in a while.
Okay.
So that's,
How long you lived in Kansas City?
I'd say almost 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, pretty much. Almost 30.
Wow. What brought you to Kansas City?
The first time or the second?
I think the second's going to be a better story.
The second was I went to school at University of Nebraska, and then I got drafted here to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then I've been here ever since.
All right. Who was the head coach in Nebraska when you were there? Was it Osborne?
Osborne. Yep.
Do you know, I interviewed for a grad assistantship with Osborne back in the early 70s.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said no thanks.
Yeah. Don't worry, he says it to a lot of us.
Right. All right. So, where did you grow up?
Grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma, Fort Sill.
Right.
I was born in Fort Riley, so I'm a military. My dad was in the Army.
I didn't know that. You
Yeah.
traveled around a lot?
No, I didn't. He let us stay stationed, and
He
he did all of the tours.
He
and
wasn't a
stuff.
sailor, was he?
No, he was Army man. He was in Germany a little bit here and that kind of stuff.
Okay. So, you grew up in Oklahoma. Why didn't you go to Oklahoma or to Oklahoma State? Why Nebraska?
Well, Nebraska was a better place for me at that point. So actually, I'm the first in history to actually go from Oklahoma to Nebraska. Second to commit, first to actually go.
What year did you go to school, college?
89.
That was when the rivalry was the
Yeah,
biggest. wasn't
rivalry
it?
was going big. It was going pretty strong.
Didn't somebody in Oklahoma want you?
They did. They did a great job of recruiting at that point, trying to figure out where to go, what to do. So this is sort of how I ended up in Nebraska. The coaches from Nebraska used to come down to Oklahoma to fish because they knew they couldn't recruit. So they was like, hey, we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna hang out with coaches. We're gonna do this kind of thing. And so they came down fishing one time and everything else. We were like, well, what kind of offense do we want to put in? So we were like, let's try to put in Nebraska's option offense. We had some players at that point that we were trying to put together. So we went up to a camp and we basically tore the camp up. We were all over the place, and there was 14 of us.
Well,
That were all over.
wait. That's because Nebraska high school football players are not the same as high school Oklahoma football
But
players.
it's a camp for everybody across the country, not just
Okay.
Nebraska kids. So it was kids from all over. We went up and did camp, and then after camp, Osborne said, I think we could actually, get you offer
How
you
big were you?
offer you. I was 6'2" at that point. I was
260?
probably 250, 260. And so they were like, well, we think we're gonna offer you guys, a couple of you guys, college scholarships if you want a chance to play here. And I was like, really? I could play college ball? That'd be cool.
You
So
didn't know you had an opportunity to play college ball in
not
Oklahoma?
not as our sophomore year. We were going
Wow.
into our junior year.
Right.
So we put their offense in verbatim. basically we put a college offense into our high school team and learned it.
Triple option.
I option.
I option.
Yeah,
Okay.
I option, same difference.
Right.
But so we had unbelievable talented guys that
Yeah,
ran
the
it.
idea you got the fullback, no tail, quarterback, no pitch, right?
Yeah. So our quarterback,
It wasn't a T, it wasn't a
no, it was a true
push
I
line. It
option.
was a
True I option.
right.
Yeah. And so we have, I mean, off of those teams there, we've got we've got 30 pro athletes between the 7 years that we were in.
Really.
Yeah. Our quarterback ended up playing 14 years in the big leagues as a
Who?
catcher, Kelly Stinnett.
Wow.
So he was our quarterback and he played catcher, and then our running back played 5, and then our middle linebacker, he's got a gold medal for Barcelona, and he is
So all of the same high school?
same high school. Yeah. So we,
In a little bumfuck little nobody town?
well, it's not a nobody town, man. We got some
How many
athletes
people
out
live
of there. We got 3 high schools, so that's good.
What are there, 50 high schools in Kansas City?
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's quite a few more. We have 3, and
Right.
so it was pretty
Okay.
good.
Wow.
So for me, it was easier for me to sort of figure out what did I need. I needed college support, help me with grades and everything else to make sure I could stay in school, do what I need to do. So they already had study hall there, where the other 2 schools didn't have study hall. They didn't have computers. They didn't have. So when you go there and you can walk in a room and see all these computers and see all this stuff, I was like, yeah, I need that help. And plus, I already knew their offense.
Well. How many 16, 17, 18-year-old kids say, I need help with school? I'm going to college to play football, but I need help with school.
No. I was.
You were way ahead.
Hey, I was at. I had to. I was like, I knew where my weaknesses were.
All right.
So on the field was okay. So that's what was really cool is that we already had the offense. So I ran it for 2 years. So really, I was a
Was it
sophomore or junior.
Was it the same vocabulary?
Same vocabulary.
Oh,
Down.
see, what most people who don't know football don't
Yeah.
really understand is when you change coaches, they bring in their own offense
Yeah.
or defense.
Yeah.
And it could be the exact same play or a very similar playbook, but all the words are different.
Yeah.
It's like learning Spanish and learning Portuguese, and the next year learning Italian. Yeah, they're all somewhat similar, but it's a whole new language.
Yeah.
And that, for somebody who's not quick, good learner, that could be the most challenging part is the language.
It is. And it could be the exact same thing. Just one guy calls it this, another person calls it that. And you're going, can you just flip it in your hand? How do you put it in? So,
And so, great question.
yeah.
A new coordinator comes to town
Yes.
and you're taking over a winning program. Why don't you get the one guy to learn the new language that everybody else knows? Why does he have to insist that all 80 athletes have to learn his language?
Because that's what
Right,
that's
right,
what
right.
I am. I'm the guy that brought in this new system that's going to make us better,
Right.
even though it's the same
just
thing.
same
Yeah,
play,
Exactly.
just different language.
Just different language.
All right.
You know.
How good were you in high school?
High school was pretty good.
All American?
No.
All state?
All state. Well, I was defensive lineman of the year.
You played
Yeah, I was
both
a
ways?
defensive tackle and offensive guard.
Really?
So if I went to Arkansas, I'd have been a DN or D tackle.
Right.
And then if I went to the other schools that I'm looking at, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Nebraska, all of those, I was an offensive guard.
Why not offensive tackle?
A little short. Even
Really?
even right now, they consider you short as offensive guard being 6'2". Yeah, right now, if you're not 6'4" or 6'5" or what have you,
Is it just the arm length?
it's just they don't understand what it is to play. They just assume it's one thing or another, but it's not. It has nothing to do with your arm length. It has nothing to do with your height. It all
Feet?
has to do with your feet, your balance, and understanding where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, and how do I manipulate the other guy.
All right. Segue to, then we're going to keep this to the Chiefs and their offensive tackle problems.
Yeah,
But all right. So you graduate high school.
Yeah.
Defensive state player of the year.
yeah.
Is it a big trophy?
No, it's
You
just
still have
it's
it?
a plaque. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
Okay, we're going to get to
I
that
got it.
too.
I
right,
got it.
Right.
I got it.
Did you start your freshman year in college?
I did not start, but I played a lot of games.
Okay.
There was 5 seniors They were all guards at that point. 5 seniors at guard, and so
Any of them good?
yeah,
Any
they're
of them
good.
play next level?
I think a couple had a couple tryouts,
Okay, all right.
but I don't think they played for any long
When did
period
you
of time.
realize how great you were going to be?
You know, it was really weird. I never really thought of myself as great. I thought of myself as good at what I did, and I never considered myself the best of the best. I just sort of considered I wanted to be as good as I could be at that point.
You know, ironically, I don't think Mahomes thinks of himself as the best of the best. I don't think Andy Reid thinks of himself
Mhm.
as the best of the best. Kelsey might, right? Right.
There
And
might
then
be
there's a bunch
guys.
of other
There might be
guys,
a couple of guys. Yeah.
a couple other guys who think that, but sometimes the best of the best never have to say, look at me, I'm the best.
Yeah. So,
They just say I got to go to work every day and try to get better.
and that's sort of the mentality I've always had.
Um, 4 years in Nebraska,
Yes. Mhm.
graduate.
4 years, graduated.
What kind of degree?
Communications.
Really?
Yeah.
You might want to get a refund.
Yeah, I probably did. Probably did.
Okay. So, what was school like?
School was fun. It was a blast.
Did you run track? I mean, did you do anything with track and field?
No, I did not. Oh, are you talking about high school?
Yeah,
Shot put disc, 2 years.
right.
Yeah.
I could see you do that little spin move.
Yeah, actually, I was a straight line. Yeah.
Straight line.
Yeah, straight line, shot put, spin discer. Yeah, I have, and I would actually switch. So I just did a switch, and I think I was like, one coach gives me a hard time. He's like, "Yeah, you're the only guy I know that could switch," and basically end up getting like third in state.
Do you consider yourself a great athlete? A good athlete
I'm a good athlete. I'm a good
compared to other
athlete.
big men. Great athlete compared to other big men.
I sort of tell her myself as a small man trapped in a big man's body.
Right.
That makes
you wanna
sense.
play, you want to play point guard.
I don't want to play point guard. I can play point guard if I need to, but
Right.
I'm more or less, I just sort of say anything you can do, I could do even better, regardless of what it was. And I
I
sort of,
love that confidence.
and I,
Love it.
and I think it sort of started with the old school breakdancing.
No,
Yes, it did.
no,
It did. It did.
really.
Yeah.
You still do some?
No, not in public. Not in public. But every once in a while you gotta show the kids you still got
What do you think of the Trump dance?
it. We don't think about that at all.
Okay, we'll stay away from that. Though, right? I asked Will before we came on, what can we or can't we talk about? He didn't say we can't talk about politics, but I'm just going to assume, out of respect, we're going to stay away from politics.
Appreciate it.
You might not live. So, Outland Trophy.
Yes.
What is that?
It is for the best lineman in the college, basically.
Just-
interiorly.
just
whatever. Yeah.
Best lineman in college.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You won that award.
hmm
Were you surprised that you won the award?
Yeah. hmm
Who was up for it that year?
Myself, Willie Rofe.
No way. Wait, you played with Willie.
Me, yeah.
Did you ever bust his chops that you won the award?
We go back and forth on it all the time. He asked if he could just borrow it and put it on his shelf for a little bit because it should have been his and that kind of stuff. So
He's a Hall of Fame.
yes,
Right.
Hall of Fame tackle. Actually, I'm trying to think of the big kid from Lincoln Kennedy.
Wow.
So
There's
we
another great.
yes,
both.
yeah. So we
Right.
had good class, and so we were all guys up for it, and then you had a couple of defensive guys that were up for it at that point. So I got to sneak in there and borrow it for a while.
Yeah. Did you think that was going to be the highlight?
I never think that next thing is the
Jesus, I
highlight.
can't believe you.
It's the weirdest thing ever.
Whoa.
So we won state.
Right. Wait, you don't understand. What you don't understand. This man is so accomplished and still driven and confident, and yet will never say anything great about himself. This is one of the most unique individuals you'll ever meet in He's no longer a has-been. He will never be a has-been. You are still climbing every mountain. You never give up.
We try. We try to build up
Right.
to it. Yeah.
You're a absolutely spectacular human being.
Well, thank
Okay.
you.
You didn't go number one overall in the draft.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
Where did you go?
I was the third round draft pick for the Kansas City Chiefs.
With the Outland, the
That's
number
the
one
Outland Trophy.
lineman in college football went in the third round.
Yes.
Why?
Well, you sort of have to take it in. You take it in stride, and you think about it this way: you're not the biggest. You're not the strongest.
Wait. How
You're
big
not,
were you?
You're not the fastest.
How big?
I was 6'2", same 6'2", almost 300 pounds at that point.
Okay.
Ran a fairly decent 4.40, 5 flat. Not bad.
For a big fat guy, not bad.
Yeah, anytime you got some jelly, you can get it done. It's good. Did well as far as short shuttle, all of that good stuff. But the same thing. You're a little shorter than the other guys. You're not as tall as the other
What was
guys.
your bench?
Bench, I did 16, 17 on the bench, but my arms are actually 37 inches
That's long.
long. So it's a little different.
Would you believe in semi-pro football? I saw this man do it. Semi-pro football, 51 reps.
I could see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, that's
strong.
huge.
That's strong.
And so I call myself the anomaly of that because I don't believe that's how you play the game.
So you're not fast,
Yeah, not the fastest in the world,
not the
not the
strongest,
strongest in the world,
not the biggest,
not the biggest.
not the most athletic.
Yeah.
What did you do with your career? Very average, huh?
Yeah. I tried to be average every day.
So now we're going to start pounding your chest. What did you do with your career? How long did you play for?
Played for 14 seasons,
All with the Chiefs,
all with the Chiefs.
right?
Yeah.
Did you start most of them?
Never missed a game. So I
You've
have
never missed a game.
231 consecutive starts, somewhere around there.
Wait, you never missed a game.
No. After my rookie year, my first game, I didn't get to start. I played after the 5th play, something like that. But I started every game after that till I retired.
Is that some sort of record?
No. Actually, a kicker has the record at the Chiefs.
Wait, how many professional athletes of any kind
Mhm.
can say they played every single game in their career?
Not many.
Not many.
Not many at all.
Is that a testament to your health, your competitiveness, how you took care of yourself? Why?
I think it was a little bit of all. A little mental problem I had. I didn't like people in my position. So that was part of it. The other part was I did a lot of little things that I think really helped me. I had a good team around me when I got to that point.
outside of the stadium?
Inside of the stadium and outside of the stadium, I basically, figured out ways to get my body back every week, and that made a big difference.
What did you do?
During my off season, I only took off 2 weeks, and then I started back working out. So you started back doing something different, whether it was racquetball, basketball, getting into a cold tub water, doing all of that stuff during the off season. I would do other sports to sort of actually I did soccer training one year during my off season. Serious, it was the coolest thing ever.
Right.
And the soccer guy actually helped me with my mental work. So at the end of our workouts, we would do mental preparation to help me sleep at night, those kind of things. But I sort of figured if I could take a soccer ball and do that stuff with my feet from here to the top, that my balance would be so much different. I could be able to do different things, and that made a difference.
So the defensive lineman, the offensive lineman, or who does the karate and the wipe on, the wipe offs?
I have techniques that I use some of that with, but mine's more or less taught through more or less practicing and being.
Is it where you put your feet, where you put your butt, where you put your hands? What is it?
We call it. It starts with separating your feet from your hands is one, and the other piece is balance. Understanding how to manipulate balance makes a big difference.
Basically, lower your hips a little bit, right?
It's Z's in your knees and balance across the board, so that makes a difference.
Why are you not coaching?
You know, I divvied into other business pieces once I got out of football, and that sort of railed me off. And some of it was talking about doing some of that coaching and training and everything else. I did a couple of internships, which were fun and awesome to do. But I knew after I did the internships, that sort of turned me away from some of the hours that are spent.
It's a 100-hour work day,
Exactly.
100-hour work week.
Exactly.
Sometimes longer, depends on who the coach is.
Yeah, and that made it sort of difficult. So I wanted to work with people one-on-one, small groups. So I did. I went into coaching for a while. I coached third, fourth, and fifth graders. I took them through. I took 3 different groups through. So I did a little coaching there for a while.
So you're with the Chiefs for 14 years.
Yeah.
Did you make a lot of money?
I made good money. I can't
Were
complain.
you close to top of the scale for your position?
I got there probably after my 4th or 5th year. So 5 years to 10, I was at the top of the scale at that.
How was negotiating with what's his name? Who was general manager back? Peterson.
Peterson. Carl.
Yeah.
It was interesting. It was good.
Were
I
you-
mean,
you okay
it's
with
back
Carl?
and forth. I mean, the way it works is, just like anytime you do any negotiations, there's a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
Right.
And so you got to figure out which one's doing what and everything else. But I had a good agent, had good guys to represent me.
Okay.
And so that made it easier. That really made it.
You played for Marty
Played for Marty. So I
most of your career?
had Marty. Then after Marty, we had 1 year of Gunther. And then after Gunther, we had Vermeil, then Vermeil to Herm.
No, who did you have? No, there was the
The
special
first-
team coach. The special team coach, wasn't he head coach for a year?
No, Gunther was. Gunther was the head coach for the year, and he was the defensive coordinator coach.
Yeah, but I thought I forget the name of the guy. He was a special team coach, and he went from being the special team coach to the head coach for a year. Maybe not. So
Not for us.
right. So how was Marty?
Marty was good. Marty was awesome. It was, he likes to run the ball, keep it close. Hey, he believed in defense. Defense is the king of that part. You score us 14 points, we should win.
So how many running backs? Who were your top 5 running backs that you blocked for?
Well, Marcus Allen was one.
All right, that's a good one.
I had Priest Holmes.
That's a good one.
So I had those 2 guys that were really good. And then I had guys that kept converting. So they converted from fullback to running back.
Right.
So we had, I can see his face, Kimball Anders.
I liked him a lot.
Yeah, Kimball is awesome. And then Tony Richardson.
I like Tony. Tony's a
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting there breaking down film,
Yeah.
the linemen are working on what they can see in front of them. How much coordination is there between the linemen, what they see in front of them, and the running back and what they have to read on your back?
It should be synonymous. They should be right there together. And what really makes it cool is that my rookie year, I'm coming in and I'm going into meetings and going to study. And at this point, I'm going into week 2, week 3. And Marcus walks in. He goes, "Well, I see you're going to be the starter. Let's sit down and watch film." So me and Marcus are sitting in here and we're watching film and breaking it down and trying to figure, to me, that's a true running back. He sits in the room with the
Is
guys.
he telling you this is how you need to?
No, he's asking me,
How are you going to handle it?
how you going to handle that guy? What can you do? Where can you move him? Where can we go? So I can help you set it up to make it happen.
So if I do this,
Yeah.
he's the lineman, the defensive tackles do this, and now you can do that.
Yeah. And I can say, hey, you know what? I can really get to this guy's front side shoulder and he doesn't play the backside well. And we can do this and do that. He goes, okay, what I'll do is I'll sit slower behind you and then speed up to go around him that way. Or I'll go to the front side, make him go over that far and then sort of help you out on your blocks. And to me, that's what I could call a great running back that could do it. And then the difference is you had, other, like Priest, you knew if you
Just anything.
if you were in your zone long enough, he was going to show up.
Right.
He was going to make some things happen as that worked.
Now, you played with Willett.
Yeah.
Is he your favorite wingman?
Willie, he was on the other side.
Ah,
So he was still my nemesis, even
right.
though we were on the same team. So we were right side versus left side. So that's how we used to say it. Right side's better than left side. And we used to go back and forth. And that's a motivational tool to make you guys better.
Who was your favorite tackle that you played with?
I had great tackles. I had John Tate that was out there. That was
Big
awesome.
man.
Victor Riley was another great tackle.
Why, why didn't he work out? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a whole,
Yeah,
and
that's
he's not even with us anymore.
Right.
He passed last
Okay,
year, which
sorry to
was
hear
really
that.
tough. I had Ricky Sigler as a tackle.
He went on.
Yeah, and he went on and moved to, it's sort of like we swapped. We
Right.
brought in Willie, and then he went down to New Orleans. So I had a lot of good guys that I got to play next to.
Any quarterback that you have very fond memories of?
I think, of course, Joe Montana, because he was the first and you were right there. You're like, hey, what is this guy like? He's already in that awe moment of he's that good. He's
Yeah,
this,
he was
he's
Hall
that.
of Fame before he even showed up.
Before he came here. And so then you walk in the room and everyone's like, oh, yeah, Joe is here. He's this, that, and the other. And he's just like, hey, man, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then he comes in the huddle. And anytime you heard the words, hey, I'm going to need a little time, you knew something was going to happen special. And that was the cool thing is being in the huddle and just listening to how his mentality was so calm, cool, and collected. He never got too high. He never got too low. He was never that guy. But then I had Rich Gannon, and he's a good guy.
Great
He's
guy.
an awesome guy.
He's one of the guys I wish had stayed with the Chiefs a little longer.
Yeah.
Right, instead of the so I think Joe Montana might have been one of the great overachievers of all time. Wasn't big, wasn't strong, wasn't fast. I'm not saying he was stupid, but it's not like, but he was just a winner.
He could play the game. And
He
that's
could
the
play
whole
the
point.
game.
He mentally knew what it was going to take to get things done. And a lot of people don't realize that that's really the winner. It's not how big, how strong, how fast you is. Because I know guys that are strong, can lift a house. But all I got to do is move in 4 inches, just enough to win. And I think that's the piece that you got to learn.
Is that what Mahomes has?
I really had a really, when he first came in, it was interesting because we would come in and we would be talking to coaches and everyone else. And this was, of course, his first year he was going to start. And they were like, hey, you don't know what this guy's doing in practice. He's amazing. And, us as old guys, yeah, right. Show us, prove us, see what he's like. No, you should go watch the film and see what he did today. And you go in there and look like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. But then when you go in and you're talking to the team and talking to the group, you can see the difference even sitting in a meeting room where his mindset is going. And that's the coolest thing ever, because it's sort of like that. You see that mirror image of someone that loves the game and is constantly thinking about the game and working on the game, that's constantly going, ooh, if I do this, I can do that, do this. And then he's still listening in, and it's,
I think you would have loved playing with Mahomes.
oh yeah, it would have been awesome.
Because not just but because of his commitment to the game.
Yeah.
Was similar to your commitment, which is not the same commitment everybody else who's getting paid has.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about it. I mean, you just watch certain people, how they go about what they do, and then you watch them in practice or you watch games. And so, like, even watching the young guy that left us that I wish would have stayed here, Tariq, at one point, he was feeding off of that. You'd see him in preseason make a catch, make a move, run by a guy, and then run out of bounds. And then once he stands out of bounds, he's thinking, oh, I should have did this, this, and this. Oh, I should have did that. When you're thinking and dreaming and talking about football and you can see it in their mind, I was like, dude, he's in the middle of a game and he's thinking, how do I do that better?
I think he's a generational talent.
Yes.
Right. I think I got no problem with what he did. I got no problem. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit of a drama queen from time to time, but not to take anything away from his on-field talent. Yeah. He was a once a generation talent, not a decade, a generation.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just think when he was here, he had the right people around him to keep pushing him to get better.
Well, he could be the diva because there's too many other guys above him on the pecking order.
Well, I just think it's the people around you that can push you to make you better, and that's the whole key. I mean, that's the whole key of, oh man, you're great, but you could be better. You could do better.
And if you have somebody like Mahomes or Chris Jones or Kelsey saying, every day we show up, we're trying to get better and better and better and better, why are you not trying to get better?
Well, and I talked to some of the guys that had great teams, even from the Raiders times and everything else, because I had Art Shell as a coach. And
Art, a great guy.
Art Shell would go, he goes, guess what, man? He's like, games were easy if practice is hard. And he would be like, the guys we practice against made us that good. Because when we got to the games, it was easy.
Right.
And to me, that's when you know a team is destiny for greatness, is when they're pushing each other to the limit in practice, to where games, they've already seen it. They've already done it.
Is that Andy? Are the Chiefs one of those type of teams?
Well, and it's got to be player driven too. It
Right.
can't be just the coach.
No, the coach can't be screaming from the mountaintop,
No.
work harder, work faster.
Yeah, because
right.
There's always going to be that guy that'll look and was like, when did you do this? Or, how did you do this? And you're not out here every day and you don't feel the bumps and bruises that I feel. But when it's a teammate that's pulling you along, that's going, yeah, I'm doing what you do.
Right.
And I feel like I can do it better, so you should do it better.
Right.
Yeah. And it's all about not letting each other down. And I think that's that key. That's that little thread that makes a difference, is when you stop playing for yourself and you start playing for the person next to you, that's when you know you're a true team.
Mahomes' interview's good.
Yeah, he does.
Talking about good interview. Did you see the DJ Humphries interview when he first came to town?
No, I didn't.
Man, I was going, where's this guy been for the last 10 years? I loved him. I loved everything. He said everything right.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, oh man, wish I had this guy in his prime. 14 years for the Chiefs. You played at a pretty high level. How many times did you make an all-star team or all-pro team? Or
all pro first or second team. I think it was either 5 or 7 years, but then I made the Pro Bowl 12 consecutive. Yeah, so.
Has any lineman ever done that?
There's only 3 of us that have that regard of being there 12 years. And then I do have the most as a Chief player.
Who are the other 2?
It is Randall McDaniel, and the other one is, what's his name? He was a guard. He played center guard and tackle for the Titans. Matthews.
Yeah, one of the Matthew boys.
But he also played like 19 years. He played a long time.
Canton Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was cool. I mean, it's one of those things that sort of puts you in that surreal moment. And being offensive lineman, you think about it as, is that real? Is it there? And you put the work in and you got working on it and you're going, okay, this is cool. And you really don't know you have that talent or to that ability to be there. And actually, Art Shell was the one that sort of put my mindset even to think about it long time before it ever came to fruition.
Were you a first ballot?
No.
How many years did you have to wait?
Waited 3.
I went through the Hall of Fame range. There's not a lot of guards in the Hall of Fame. A lot of tackles.
Yeah.
A lot of kickers.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of every other position there is in football.
A couple of kickers, and they're all from other countries. Isn't that weird?
Right. But not a lot of guards.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's a difficult position to measure. Tackles, they say they're on an island. They're out on
Right.
the edge. They say guards are, sort of protected
Right.
in the middle. Centers are the same way. It's hard to find, what differentiates you from the other side or what you've done, and that's the hard part.
Oh, I got a great question for you. Would you have started for the Chiefs in your prime right now? You got 3 guys there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would you have been as prolific a player as you were in your day against these competing with these guys?
I think it'd be hard for you to find any player that ever played for any longevity of time to ever say they would not be a starter.
Right.
You'd have to say,
Right.
yeah, any
Right.
era. Now it's a different era, it's a different game, but you always that's that competitive juice in you. Compare, you're gonna, I'm gonna
You're
be a
gonna
starter.
be the best.
I'm gonna be a starter,
Right.
regardless.
They won't get off the practice field.
No,
Right.
yeah.
During the season, was there a lot of conditioning? Was there a lot of weightlifting?
It was more maintenance, body maintenance, that kind of stuff on the
Ice,
weekend.
heat,
Yeah. Oh, that now
stretch.
recovery, lift. You still lifted a little bit.
Right.
You still ran a little bit, not as much. But there were some teams that differentiated themselves by running,
Conditioning.
and I think that's where the Patriots sort of pulled away from everyone because they did a lot of stuff during the off season as well as during the season that other teams just didn't do, and it was all internally led. It wasn't led by the coaching staff. It was led by other players.
See, I'm a huge believer in I'm going to win the football game in the last 4 minutes of the first half and the last 4 minutes of the game because I'm going to outcondition your ass.
Yeah.
We're going to run fast break football and you're not going to be able to keep up. You're just going to be so winded that you're not going to be able to keep up. And we might be inferior talent, but we're not going to be inferior heart.
Yeah, that's where I say that you only took so long off because I always wanted to be in the best shape I could be. And that's to me is the key. Is not about how strong, how fast, how whatever it is. It's about
Commitment.
your commitment to how long you're going to do it and how you're going to do it.
Who are your workout buddies?
Right now?
No, then.
Oh, back then? No, I did it mostly by myself,
Really?
unless I had a rookie that I was pulling along with me, and I was like, "Hey, man, we're gonna go work out. I'm gonna be here at this time. You can either get in or get lost, whatever it is."
Have the Chiefs ever asked you to come by and mentor some of the young guys?
I do. I work with a couple of the different guys and different things here and there. So that really, that's my touch points is being able to work with them during the off season, but also talk to them on a regular basis, check in on them.
So we got two young tackles,
Yeah.
left tackles.
Yeah.
Are they salvageable?
They are. I just think that right now, it's also getting into what is acceptable and what's not acceptable, and what is their goals as far as what they need to have happen to make the next run happen. And if I'm going probably way into much detail, but when you go and watch how they're playing and what they're doing, it seems like they're in survival mode and not understanding where the quarterback is trying to go, where he's trying to get to, and what the goals are. So if I'm gonna do a 5-step, 7-step drop, where do my sets need to lead my guy to help the quarterback do the best thing that he wants to do? Only reason I would know that is if now I know the route tree. And
Wait a second. I got to be a receiver now to play left tackle.
you don't have to
I got to be a running back. I got to be a receiver. I got to be a right guard, a left guard. I got to know what everybody else is doing.
well, I at least got to know what's going to happen on my side of the field.
Okay.
So think about this.
No. I get you.
So think about this. If I am a right tackle, and let's say I have a fullback that's going to come through. If he's going to come through my B gap or my C gap, I need to know that. If I get a chip on the outside, I know I can't outset
Right.
too far so the guy doesn't beat me underneath.
Right, because that's not where the
Because
chip help is
that's
coming.
not where the chip help is going. And that is my issue, is that it feels like they're setting, even though they got help on certain protections,
Right.
they overset outside, or it's like they don't know that, oh, I didn't think that guy was going to help me, or I didn't know that,
You gotta know more.
those things.
Would you like to mentor a high school football player, college football player, professional football player?
Probably high school.
Why?
I get them early, and I can actually get them not only set up for if they're going to play at the next level, but if they're not going to play at the next level.
Yeah, tell them to go out for the lacrosse team. Well, that's a great segue. You left football. You tried something this, tried something that. What's next?
I think next for me is basically I'm going to probably fold back into the training, football, that kind of stuff,
I love to hear that.
mentoring.
High school kids, college kids, pro
Well,
kids.
we'll start mentoring basically from middle school up.
What would your message be to middle school kids?
Basically, understand what your opportunities are, but also try everything to find out what you're good at and find out what you like.
Usually people are good at the things they like. I'm not very good at golf.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why I don't like it much.
Yeah, Could be.
You like what you're good at. You're usually good at what you like. And so you're absolutely right. The journey of finding what you're good at and what you enjoy makes an easy decision of the path you take,
Hmm.
right?
But you have to try all those different things to even know what you don't like.
So when I was in high school,
Hmm.
I sang in a choir.
Hmm.
I played on the chess team.
Hmm.
I did art classes,
Hmm.
right? I thought I was phony because I could fit in on all these different things and I wasn't being true to myself.
Hmm.
But what I was doing was taking that journey
Yeah.
of finding out what was I good at. It wasn't choir.
Mm.
It's not chess. It's certainly not art, right? But I took the journey to find out where my passions really, really, truly were.
Yeah. And just the same with you. I actually did choir all the way through high school.
I gotta assume you were good though.
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay at what I do.
right.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about golf
Right.
until after I was done.
I still have a scar.
So I still like golf. I like golf. I
Right.
love to play it. I'm addicted to it,
Right.
and I know I'm decent, but not spectacular at it.
Okay.
And that's okay
Right.
because I've sort of figured I found my niche market of what I did very
Right.
well, and now that time is done. But at least I found that niche market for a while.
All right. So let's go back to you. You want to talk to middle school kids?
Yeah.
Or high school kids?
Either or works great. Just because the simple fact that when I was in high school, we had Lynn Bias.
Wait, the guy who died?
He died. Yeah.
Right? He got drafted
And he
first round.
went
and he died.
out and he took
Right.
drugs one time, and the one time he said he took
Right.
drugs, he ended up dying.
Right.
His mother was very influential on some of the things we looked at and how I should say I looked at how to do things. She came and spoke to our school, and she sat there and
Taking it forward.
she talked about her son, and you could see her heartbreak. You could see her pain. And she had her hair was down and it was long and flowing, and she would take her hands and you could tell that she would string her hair and she would do this as she's talking, and you could tell that she could feel the passion of what she said about her son. It was what she had thought it was one time. Now she doesn't know if it is or not.
Hold on a second. Brenda, do you think Mr. Will Shields would be an asset to your school programs, speaking programs?
Of course.
Brenda has already 16 schools lined up.
Mm-hmm.
Middle school, high school.
Both.
Would you be interested in working with Brenda to talk with these kids?
We've already discussed.
I know that, but I want
He's trying to get verbal
Right.
confirmation. I know what you're
Absolutely.
doing. I know what you're trying to do.
I'm manipulating.
I know. I can see that.
Yes.
You're trying to be good at that, but I'm
No, if I tell you I'm doing it, it means I'm terrible at it.
But yes, I will help her work with the program to
Becoming
to
a Better
some-
You
to speak some of
Foundation
it.
just picked up another speaker,
Yeah,
right? Doesn't pay very well. All
it's
right,
all good.
it's okay. But
I know you'll pay me back, so I'm good.
whatever. I'll take you out for lunch.
Lunch.
Yeah, we haven't done that for a while. How long you been married? Same wife, forever.
Yes.
Where did you meet her?
Met her in school,
Nebraska, not high school.
Nebraska college.
College. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. College.
How long you been married?
32 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Kids,
3 kids.
how old?
32, 30, and 29.
Wow. Grandfather?
No,
Soon?
have no idea. I'd be happy either way.
Okay.
The middle child's the one that's married right now, so
Where do they live in?
they live in Milan, Italy.
So you got one in Italy.
Yeah.
Is that the basketball player?
Basketball player.
And you got
Daughter in Indianapolis. She's the oldest. She's
Yeah.
a doctor.
PhD doctor or an
No, she's a-
honorary doctorate? An honorary doctor.
She's
Brenda,
she's-
the honorary doctorate
She is a doctor,
of
a
what?
medical doctor.
A
So-
medical doctor.
Yeah.
I
So
always say they have a real PhD.
yeah. So she's doing emergency and pediatrician.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and then my youngest is a documentary filmmaker.
so they're all giving back. No,
Yeah.
None of them are just taking. They're all.
Yeah. They're all
they're-
doing something.
none of them going to jail, drugs,
No, no.
right?
So that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's a real good
all
thing.
graduated college.
Yes, yes,
Right.
they did. Yeah,
You did a good job.
yeah. Mom did great.
No, 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 no.
I'm the backup.
You're the
I'm
backup.
the backup, man.
Were you the disciplinarian?
No, I'm just the backup. I'm just the force if it has to happen.
You were the stay-at-home dad after they left the house.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's what it is. After they go, it
You're,
works well.
you're the stay-at-home dad after they grew up and left the house.
Yeah.
All right, that's a great job. Um, you're unpretentious. You're one of the most unpretentious people I've ever met in my life. For someone who's so accomplished, you have accomplished. Oh, we didn't even talk about probably your most prestigious award and recognition in your life,
What would that be?
the Walter,
I've got kids, man. That's it. You're good.
the Walter.
Oh, the Walter Payton Man of the Year. Yeah, yeah. It's a very
I mean, they put 5 or 6 or 10 people in the Hall of Fame every year, but they only give out this award to one person.
yeah. They do. They do.
What was that? What was that like? What did you do to?
Well,
What have you done?
the
to
Will
get
to
that?
Succeed Foundation is what we started when we first got here, and it really it's sort of a byproduct of other people around me that have sort of given back and done different things. Started in high school. I had great coaches that all did things that, basically for us as kids and everything else. Then you go to college and you had Coach Osborne that started a whole new teammates program that we were the first group of, and we were first volunteers to help mentor kids in the Lincoln area. And so that program is now expanded across the country. So we were part of that. And then coming here, I was like, well, what makes the difference between a veteran player and guys that just sort of come in and leave and everything else and all that? And we used to have banners all around the stadium
I remember
at
those.
one point. And I was like, well, those guys seem to be the guys that sort of put their footprint on. They said, hey, they said they're going to stay, they're going to do things, they're going to build things out in the community. And coming from that tree of Osborne and all of that, it's like, I want to be one of those guys. I want to be one of those guys that help other people.
So one of my new sayings, my Big Bob sayings, service is the gift I give myself to honor my blessings.
Very nice.
Right?
Yeah.
To be able to give back is the gift that I give myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not what I'm giving. It's I honor my blessings with the ability to give. And that's what you have done your whole life.
Yeah. Well, and it made it even easier when you had teammates that you can drag out to do stuff. So
Hey,
I sort of say
you never asked me to go play golf.
it's part of
For
my
not for profit.
yeah. Well,
Did you see me
I've seen
play
your
golf?
golf game, so I don't want you.
I could drive a
I
cart.
want you
I
to
could-
enjoy yourself.
I could drive a
I
car.
want you
without
to
getting hurt.
enjoy yourself. But what it is the simple fact I call it really is the chief reward. There's a lot of Kansas City guys that at that point when we were doing services that I could lean on that would show up, and that made life easier to build that bridge between us as guys and players and teammates to the community and build that out.
When you're in the locker room, most guys are like this. It doesn't matter the diversity, the backgrounds. It doesn't matter anything. I'm going to give you a lot of space because I love you, my brother, and we're playing on the same football team, right?
Yeah.
But when we leave the locker room and years pass on, is there still a friendship? Sometimes not.
There is, but just the same as you came in from different places, you disperse back to those places. But you do still reach out. You reach out every once in a while, especially to those you were the closest to, more so than
Who do you
some
reach out to?
guys. Well, because of what I do, I probably reach out to more guys than normal, but I reach out to a lot of different guys. So me and John Tate still talk. Me and Willie Rofe still talk. Me and Brian Waters still talk. All my linemen, I reach out and talk to them quite a bit. And I think that's sort of that cohesive group because you spent the most time together.
Is it because you want them to work your charities, or they want you to work their charities? Or
Now
is it,
it's just
let's
check.
go,
Now it's
let's
just
go have a-
if I'm in town, hey, let's get together, let's go have dinner, let's do that. It's not even about charities or whatever. It's about just checking in on each other.
Marcus, take your phone call if you call him.
Yes. Yes.
Is there anybody you care about that would not take your phone call?
I don't think anybody wouldn't take the phone call. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, not from the team
Right.
anyway.
How's your relationship with the Hunts?
Good. It's good. Yeah.
It's different than
Lamar was unique. He
Yeah.
was unique.
he was. He was a giver.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
he's-
an absolute giver.
He was a great owner, and that was what was really cool about it.
Right.
He's the only guy I know that would actually would have his car out there break down, and he's going, "Hey, I need to go to Walmart and get a piece to go fix it."
I met Lamar Hunt flying on a plane, coach. We sat next to each other. Coach.
Yeah.
Billionaire. Coach. Right. What a special guy.
Yeah.
What do you do every day to stay busy?
I still have a part-time gig.
What's that?
I still work for the NFL. I help guys transition in and out of the league. So
Okay.
I'm over all 32 teams of new guys coming into the league, as well as old guys going out of the league, or I should say younger guys going out of the league.
It really,
Because
the
there's no more old
yeah,
guys.
you're right.
even though-
There's no old guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the one old guy is gone. I mean,
Exactly.
and the other old guy you probably don't want to talk to anyways. Is it vocational help? I mean, what do you do with all your money? Your financial help,
It's
time help?
it's across the board. It's basically helping guys transition, and that's the hard part to say, the transition of leaving something you've put 20, 30 years into to get to. And then what's next? How do you find it next? But also down the road, when can you use your benefits that you have? Or do you have benefits? If you didn't play long enough, you don't have them. So it's a combination of all of that. But then also as the new guys come in, it's like you need to prepare for when you're going to leave, and it's hard because
You
once I get my foot in, I'm never leaving until
You think-
I'm ready to go.
You think you're going to be there for 10, 12 years.
And we know the average is 3.5, and basically after that you got to go
And
find
for
other
every
revenue.
and for every guy who lasts 3.5, there's somebody who doesn't last a year.
Yeah, I mean,
So
and that makes a difference.
injuries.
Yeah,
Or
Only-
not good enough.
there's only 1,500 jobs.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So, and we have thousands of people that want those 15.
You think they'll expand to Mexico, Europe, Asia?
I think it'll take them a while, but I think they'll keep testing the markets to see how viable it is. But also, they still got to look at the safety issues and things of that nature.
Look at the dilution of talent too.
Exactly.
I mean, the drop off in the NFL so as a general manager, if I was a general manager,
Mhm.
if my guy's in the top third, we're not talking about him. If he's in the bottom third, I'm looking to get rid of him or find somebody else. And if he's the middle third, we might have a discussion. I've always thought the Chiefs have fewer guys in the bottom third than any other team.
They do a good job of getting guys that fit that middle, and that's what's cool about it. And they treat
Coach them up.
They coach them up and get them ready, and that makes a difference. They don't deal in that bottom half. When they're a bottom half where they just say, "Look, I'm sorry, we got to move on."
Is it the coaches? Is the management? What
I don't live in that world, so it's hard for me to make a statement on that because I don't know. I just know that something's working.
You're still a young man. You 50 yet?
Yeah.
What are you going to do for the next 25 years?
Figure out how many other things I can get in trouble by doing.
All right. All right. Please don't do too much investing.
Yeah. Well, we'll try to stay away from that.
Is it a trap out there for former athletes?
It's it's more traps than it is anything else of, hey, you should do this, you can do that, you can, and it's really hard because it's some of your people you consider friends,
Best friends.
Hey, I've got this idea, let's try this, let's do that. And
Do you have an entourage?
no, I don't.
Nothing. No hanger-ons from high school or college.
Nope. My best friends from college, we go to certain venues together and do things together, but that's it.
All right.
Yeah, got great people around me right now. It's awesome.
You want to give a shout out to anybody?
Well, I just think it's really
No, here to my audience. You want to?
Yeah, that's what I was-
Shout out. Go ahead.
Well, I don't know if it's a shout out to anybody or anyone individually, but it's always a good thing to be able to tell people to get involved. Get involved in what you do in your community and make sure that things work really well. Whether it's the justice system as well as other places and things that you can do, because there's always somebody that needs help, and if you can help them with your money, that's great. If you don't have the time, give them a dime, help it out, and let it grow, so that everybody can be a part of it. Because we know, hey, sometimes you're busy, you can't do it all. But if you do have some extra coins or whatever, give it to a good non-for-profit to help them out and help them grow, because not everybody has it as good as we have it.
Right. Our blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Will Shields. What's up, Big Bob? Till next time. What's up? I'm Big Bob.